get it printed out. And so for this workshop, we will be having Ethan, who is our combat robotics chief, or our BattleBots leader, mostly teaching you, and then we'll also have Aaron, our vice president, and David, our secretary, to also help out and also give their experience and feedback on using the software. I'm going to pass it to Ethan now in order to get started.
Hello. So I'll just quickly see if I can
Share your screen, right?
share screen. There. Should I talk about downloading Fusion, or should we
That
save
will
that for the
be
flyer?
for a later thing, because it's just a one-time hassle.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
And so my computer does so my laptop doesn't die from sharing screen or something because it doesn't perform the best sometimes. I'm going to use my computer, but that just means I won't have the I won't be connected to the team.
Are you gonna record this too?
Aaron,
Would
are you
Justin
able
be
to?
able to? Or okay.
It's being recorded? Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Aaron?
So I think what might be best would be to just go over the basics, and I'm gonna make a ramp bot, and see how that goes. So first thing is creating a sketch. That is the main. That is how you're gonna always start. Start modeling. You're gonna go over here in the create tool and then create a sketch. For
Okay,
this,
quick question, Ethan. Are you sharing your entire screen or just the application?
I believe I am sharing just the application. I do not know.
Okay, so
Am I sharing Fusion 360?
So we've had issues where if you only share the application, it's not going to show the drop boxes. And so do you mind just
Is it not showing any? Let's see, any Dropbox?
yeah, it's not.
Is it?
It's not.
Okay. Let me go back and
Yeah. So that's why
change
full screen.
windows. I'll just do screen one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
All
can
right,
you
try
see
the drop
the
boxes. Yes, we can see it now.
Wahoo?
Oh.
So to what? Oh, someone. Okay.
I didn't know there was a
So
clapping function.
so to start with, I'm gonna go over here, create a sketch. This allows you to select which of the three main planes to use. I'm gonna do the XY axis plane because it's gonna be the bottom one, and that'll allow me to create the base, which I'm gonna make the shell out of. And here is a good tool to use for the start. If you're going to make a rectangular surface, is to use a center rectangle. Let me just go back there again. It's in this Dropbox, rectangle. Then it's the third one, center rectangle. It allows you to use the center as the rectangle. This is better because usually you just have the 2-point rectangle and you start here, and that's just it doesn't end up working as well. It's not centered to the XY axis. So the center rectangle, go here, you click there, click on the center, and you're able to select the two settings. One of them is 47 millimeters, the other is 126 millimeters. You can set these are the dimensions that you're going to be setting. So I'm going to be setting the long one to, I'll do 80 millimeters, then press tab, and that allows you to switch between them. Then I'm gonna do a ramp bot, so I'm just gonna do, I'll do 40 millimeters. I could change that later, and we're gonna go over that later. So it creates these dimensions. Delete one dimension just to show you how to make these dimensions without having to redo all that. So you go over here, press this, or alternatively, you can press the D key, and that's a quick key to do dimensions. It's already 40 millimeters. I just press enter, and it saves that.
Yo, Ethan, if
Yes.
if the dimension tool doesn't show up among the list of bars there, how would you also find it?
The dimension tool doesn't show up on the list of bars.
Yeah, so
Oh, if
suppose
it's
that
not in the create tool.
so like you see like
Uh,
the six, you see like the six shapes on the top, right?
these.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes so sometimes
Sometimes it's too
dimension,
small and
yeah,
it won't show it. So in that case, you'd go into, you see this the drop down box with the arrow, the
create.
create area. You left click that, and then it shows all the create tools. On the bottom, it's going to include sketch dimension, and it also shows that D is the quick key to use that without having to go over here and click that, and you can do that. And just be warned, if you're getting a pop up if you over constrain. That just means that it's redundancy, and you don't need to do that. I'll click cancel. See, there's an error there for that. Okay, so next I will finish the sketch, and then I'll click E. But let me go to, I'll do the extrude tool, which is also E, and that allows me to create a height that I'm gonna make it. And also this, just to let you know what it is, it allows you to have a taper on all of the edges that are being extruded. Uh, can be useful sometimes, I guess, but I rarely use it.
Hold
I'm
up real quick. Carlos has a question for us. Is it important that we do all this on solid versus surface? Can you elaborate more on what you mean by that, Carlos?
Oh, I think I understand what he means. Solid being this area. Surface.
Oh, I see.
Surface. It
Okay,
looks
yeah.
like it's based on. Let's see. Ugh.
I mean, technically,
Surface.
we could also
Is
draw
it like
on a
hollow?
solid as well. What's up?
Surface just hollow?
It looks like it. Yeah, that would make sense. Surface
Oh,
would be
yeah.
only the surface. Solid would be solid all the way through.
What's mesh? Or is that just not?
Mesh just means that you're creating a, like, manipulating like the mesh that creates it, because all 3D all like 3D objects in a computer is based on vertices that are meshed together.
Oh, okay.
I see.
This is technically a mesh because it is a, well, not yet, because it hasn't been extruded yet, but
Have you ever used the surface tool? Because I've
I have
mostly
not.
used yeah, most of the time you just use solid, right?
I just used
Yeah.
surface on accident the first time I did it and messed up my design. 'Cause
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
continuing
yeah.
on. Oh, anyone have any more questions?
See, I think everybody's good.
Okay. I'll extrude. Just know that you can press E to do that. So over here, there is different settings. This start just determines where it is starting from. Direction meaning you can choose if it's on one side like it is. Two sides means you could have two individual extrudes in two different directions. And symmetric means that you're doing two extrudes, but they are the same dimensions.
A reflection per se.
Yeah. For this, I'll do one side, and later we'll get into the extent type for, because some of these settings are very similar or the same on different tools, such as like actually cut is part of extrude. We'll get into that later. So this
Let's
will
see.
create a new body because
Uh,
there
Carlos has
isn't.
another question.
Okay,
See, does the base adjust for printing if the z-axis goes negative? Wait,
that
let me
is a
think.
good question. Probably me. Probably not. In the sense that if it goes negative, I believe the printer wouldn't rotate it. It would make it so that the the point would. I don't know how it works on a 3D printer.
Uh,
Good question.
From my
I think. Oh, actually, what it does, it's we would export it as an STL file, and it would just place the first. It would just place like the first object
Point.
that's on the bottom. For example, if we have a box per se, we normally what we would do is we would just click on one of the faces and tell the printer that this thing is going to be facing the bed. Uh,
So in that
however,
case, would it be better if you have a point that goes into the negative to have that separate and then attach it through like a screw or something?
I mean, so this is so for this is fusion, and so we don't have to worry about prints. We don't have to worry per se about how we should set it up for that will be a slicing issue that when we start getting the print set up.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so continuing on for extrudes, we can choose what dimension we get. In this case, it goes by multiples of 5 if we drag down this arrow. Or here we can individually like put in the dimensions themselves. For this, I am going to do 30. It automatically has the dimensions in millimeters. You can change that in somewhere in settings, like in properties or something,
Mhm.
or preferences. But at the moment, the default is in millimeters, which is perfect for this because the
Suppose
scale is good.
suppose that you type 30 feet, will it automatically make it 30 feet?
Good question. Let me check because I don't know. It does.
Oh, yes. Wait, zoom out a little. Yeah. Oh, zoom out. Oh,
Yeah,
it does
it's
make
kind
it.
of
Oh,
in,
oh, oh, it's very long. All right, it does indeed make it 30 feet.
and in this case, because we don't want to have to zoom and everything, we can go over here. This is an area where you can manipulate the viewport, without having to have a mouse or anything. So you could do that on laptop if you want. And here is you click home, it goes into the isometric view. I'm gonna set it back to
30 millimeters.
it automatically goes to the object that you've made. So it automatically scales the view. So I'm gonna go back to 30, goes to millimeters. You can do that or don't do that. Um, and then next I'm gonna create a shell because that is what I did for practice. So shell, it's what you could use to basically make the object hollow and have walls that are a certain thickness that you specify. So I'm gonna click that. So you can click the face you want to have as the open end first and click it, or you can just click shell and then select it. So as the direction is inside, you can. Oh,
I think you accidentally clicked the other face as well.
uh-oh. I'm
Uh,
Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna
yeah, there you
put 3
go.
millimeters because that just sounds right enough.
Yeah,
Let me see what outside does. Okay, so outside makes the shell outwards instead of going inwards.
yes.
It's additive instead of subtractive. And both is, we can infer what that means. So I'm gonna hit enter, and
That's
then that gives us a box.
so
That,
on all sides, it's gonna be like 3 millimeters, right?
mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So suppose that we want to change the dimensions of the shell. How would you go about it? Suppose I want to make the
There,
shell. Oh,
I'm sorry.
suppose I want to make the shell like 2 millimeters, or I want to make it 20 millimeters tall instead. How would you go about changing it?
So if you can go into the timetable, and you can mess with each of the steps. So it saves every action that's made on this timetable. So you can go back and stuff like that. I have an idea on how to show that. So I could go back and it would show if it didn't even have it. If it hasn't even happened. But you go forward and you can show after it happened. You can also right click that feature and then you can click edit feature and you can change those dimensions. You can click escape to go back to what it was.
So
And
Caitlin
for
has a
this,
question.
yes.
Never mind. She's finishing up. What about edit sketch dimensions? Doesn't it change the height? You edit the numbers you put. That is also a thing as well.
Height is determined by the extrude of the initial face. The extrude, let me just pull it up. So the height of this is that's what we did over here. So I'm gonna click on the extrude feature. I'm gonna click edit feature, and we can make the height larger, smaller, or just make it the same size. And for the sketch itself, you can go right click here and edit sketch, or you
Yeah.
can go into this drop down where you can make the sketch visible or
Mhm.
not, but you can also right click it and edit the sketch
Yes.
and then change the dimensions. I'll change it to 50.
Yeah.
And then you'll see that it made the box bigger. I'm next I
Hold
will
up.
do
Did that
something.
answer? Did that answer your question, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm gonna check something real quick. See if this is how it works. So what I'm gonna do is also show another function that another modify tool that we can use called draft. So the way this works is you pick the pull direction, and then you pick the face you want to pull, and
Oh, this is new.
you you can flip it. So basically, you can choose a degree. It basically makes this angle. So if this was 0 degrees, the angle between this and this, that theta, is what this angle is.
Where did you get draft from again?
It is located in the modify
Gotcha.
drop down. It is below shell. I wish it was up here because I like that one. I like this tool. But draft. Sometimes you just gotta guess which pull direction you gotta use. But so just kind of mess with that and see which one works the way you want it.
Is there a way to like set like the tools up there, or is it just by default like the
I
first
don't
couple?
know. Good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know either, but it's fine. We could just always put use the drop down tool.
You can click and
Uh,
drag.
yeah, you
Oh,
can, but you can also click and drag, or
Oh
you
no, I meant
can
like
set.
the buttons.
Oh, you can? Oh, cool.
Maybe. I can do that on Google, but I don't know if you can do that on here.
Let me
uh,
just. Oh, by the way, you can rotate the view by holding Shift and the middle mouse button.
wait,
Very
didn't
useful.
you have to? Wait, actually, didn't you have to like change the settings for that?
No,
Huh. Let me check that out real quick. Continue.
Shift and middle mouse button, and then if you just want to pan the viewport, you just hold the middle mouse button. If you
Oh.
use Blender, it is the opposite. So get used to that.
Uh,
Or if you don't want to do that, you can just rotate using this, and I don't know how to pan this without. It might be just holding on the touchpad, just holding 2 fingers on it and gliding. But good luck. You can check that on preferences probably, but I don't know. So I made the draft using that. I'll click enter, and let's see if it did what I think it will do, and progress the timetable forward where the shell was. Yes, it did. So this tool, it works where you can change the order of things, of the features in the timetable
You can
to
change the
see
order.
which order things happened. So you saw how before I went back in the timetable and made the draft, and then I progressed to after the shell, and it made the shell go with the shape of the geometry. You can also drag the shell tool and put it behind the draft and have it only do the box that was there before the draft happened.
I did not know you could do that.
So you could do that if you just want a solid a solid box where you can do an extrude and cut a shape out of this. Like let's see. I could do that right now. I'm going to create a sketch. Doesn't matter which one because I'm just gonna press escape and change it. So I could. What I like to do for sometimes for making an arc is go into arc, then a 3-point arc. I click on the top and the bottom points on there, and then I just pick anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put it along the line. It the only thing that matters is what the radius between the line and the center point is. That's just what determines the arc because it's basically a segment of a circle. You can technically change that by change the radius by putting a dimension in there. I'll just do a clean 100 because why not? Let me actually check if this is. Oh, come on. I wish it wasn't so I could show the constraints. Oh, that's bad. I'ma just. Cat. Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll show the constraints later then. But
It's
the
fine.
thing that I can do, just make a line, then I made a surface there. I'll finish the sketch,
And
extrude on that, and I
you're
can
gonna cut
cut
it, right?
use this.
Yes.
Yes. I can select two object and I can select and that would allow me to select a distance by just clicking on a relative object. And then I can select cut, but it automatically does cut if it intersects through geometry. Just know that. You could also do join or make a new component or new body, but that as well as do an intersect that only has the parts that it's like an inverse of a cut where it only keeps the point that's intersecting. Like see, it only kept that segment. Then I'll go back to cut, then I'll click oh. Let's see. Okay. And it made a ramp, which would be nice to use. There's other ways to do that as well. I don't remember how I did it with the other one because it was a while ago and that was scuffed. Let me think. So, oh, I know another thing to do. Uh, let me think on what I could do to implement that. Instead of doing that, I can go back on the times table to before the draft. I can right click any point afterwards and just click delete features after history marker. I'm going to show a different way to make that draft. So for this case, I'll just create a sketch on this bottom point. And actually, no, never mind. I know a better idea. I'll edit the original sketch. And I will I'll delete that one because I want the dimension on the top. And I can create a new rectangle over here that I will actually make not very good on purpose to show some of the constraint tools. So some of these constraints are automatically put on certain shapes when they're made, or depending on what shape they are or how they are orientated. Sometimes it gets frustrating when it does that, but there are ways to have it help you. What I want to do is I want this line to be flush with this line. So I can make this collinear, which basically means on the same line. So I can click this and click it onto that. See, it constrains it and turns the color black. That means that it is properly constrained and won't be really messy. It won't drag around and break things. Remember that because I did not know that when I started. Thank you, Justin. Let's see. Here's my mics. Okay, good. This I want to dimension where it would have a proper distance. I'm gonna do 40 millimeters, and I will create a line here that goes on to connect with this shape. I will use the mirror tool, which actually first I'll create a line as a reference because that helps. I'll just put it here. Here's a way to make a reference line. You press the line that you want to make a reference line and press X. That makes it so that it doesn't interfere with other things when you don't want it to, and you can use it for what I'm about to show you. So the mirror tool, click mirror, and you click the object that you want to be mirrored. You select mirror line, and you're going to choose that line that I just made, and it creates one that's a perfect reflection of what you did, and it'll apply all the same constraints and properties to it. I'll click enter, and it'll be there. So next, I'm going to dimension this. I'll dimension the one that was mirrored originally just to make it work. Sure, 15 is fine.
Wait, Ethan.
And yeah,
I just got back. Did you cover constraints?
that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, awesome.
And I just covered the when you press X, I forgot what it's called, reference line thing. Okay, so arc, then 3-point arc. What I've done is I have one point of the arc, the start point and the end point be the same as the lines, but you can make it so that it creates an arc through there. I'm gonna do it
Also,
where
real quick, you want to explain why constraints are super important?
because you can make the process way easier on yourself it won't get messed up when you move it. You don't use constraints, and sometimes it just messes everything up.
It's
I'm
kind of hard for it's kind of just continue, Ethan. So it's kind of hard for people who are new to this to see the significance of constraints because I also didn't see the importance of it when I was first starting out. But
Me neither.
eventually, when you start getting your design like super detailed, there's going to be like small adjustments that you want to make. And so without constraints, you're going to make like one small change, and then when you finish editing it, the whole design is going to kind of crash because sometimes like the lines just don't stick where you want it to be, and it may even cut out parts that you intended. It just causes a whole mess, and that's just constraints. Just straight up solves the issue. It's when you first get started, you're probably going to mess up. But you're probably gonna like forget the constraints, and the whole CAD's gonna mess up. That's completely fine, but it's it's also a great way to be like, oh yeah, so I forgot my constraints. That's what happened. Can you
There's
Mhm.
another
continue?
good reason to use constraints.
Wait, can you repeat that, David?
There's another good reason to use constraints, because if you don't, then if you don't constrain it, then the sketch can move once you do modifications to it. And if it moves out of alignment with an intersection, then you can't apply 3D modeling to your sketch.
Yes.
I'm just testing something out real
Okay.
quick.
That's fine.
Not really.
Are you going to be able to teach them about the like the assembly, joint tools, all that stuff?
Not really. We'd probably have to do that after they get put on the teams thing,
Okay.
on the project team, because then they'd be able to pull from the group files.
Okay.
And because
I was
I'm doing all
okay.
this on my home computer, it's not, connected to that. And it
Oh, I
can't,
see.
because this is the free home version.
Okay.
I'm just using
Uh,
this one for practice.
okay. Let me see if I
Um,
can pull up Fusion so I can just demonstrate it. So it's gonna be like a quick demonstration of of like how we're gonna actually assemble our battle bots.
mhm.
Yeah, just continue.
Um, so a way we can use the another way we can make a ramp technically is by just simply using the loft tool. Although there are some finicky problems that happen with that, especially when you deal with curves. One side's it's going to be taller on one point than the other. Like, let me show you real quick. So see how on the top, this is all the trapezoid's visible, but on the bottom, it it in the shape is not the same. That means that this point it's higher than the other points. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's a weird shape, and Loft Tool can sometimes do that. Let's see if the loft actually. Never mind. There's another way you can do it, which I believe I showed you guys. Let's see. I created a sketch on this part, and did I do this already?
Wait, Ethan, can you remind me what you're trying to accomplish again?
I'm trying to show different ways of doing the same thing.
Okay, okay.
That there are many ways to solve the problem. So kind of there's if you're having some trouble, you can also just there's word let me just think real quick.
Are you able to show us a quick example of like what not to do?
Okay, let me try that. So what not to do would probably be
Like
creating
supposedly if I were to quickly design something like it looks like the design I want, but it's hard to fix.
um
Uh,
let's
if it's too difficult, it's fine.
oh,
I
I
didn't.
have an idea though.
Okay.
I'll start from the beginning. Oh wait, wrong button. I'm gonna just delete everything. Why not? I'm gonna create a circle. I'm gonna do what I did. Remember when you showed me how important constraints are?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what I did. Probably something like
Are you trying to
oh
make
wait.
a shuriken of some sort?
Remember that thing that I made? I don't remember how I did it specifically. Don't remember. Let me just go back there. Circumscribe. Remember when I made this abomination and just didn't put any constraints on it?
Yes.
I think this is what I did. And then I just like deleted the lines I didn't need. Remember that? And then when
Hold
you, the
hold
reason
up a
that
quick
is
second.
bad is things go wrong when you accidentally drag something.
All right, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Remember this?
Yes.
Things go wrong if you drag stuff. That's why constraints are so important.
Yes. It's so like, suppose that you want to make the blades, I don't know, like bigger, or you want to make it more narrower. It's gonna it messes up the design. There's more examples, but this is, I guess, this would be a good start since one in BattleBots, most of our weapons we use like are going to be spinners.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll do. Yeah, most of our weapons are going to be some sort of spinner, unless you're going to do rectangular spinners, in which case it'd be a different type. But I'm gonna fix the problems that I just made. Um,
Wait,
let's see.
hold up, real quick. So, a quick question, guys. So even though this workshop is supposed to end at 3 o'clock, we can definitely stay longer. Is anybody interested in staying longer for the workshop? Uh,
Sure.
spec- see, Aiden, Kevin.
I'm gonna go soon. I gotta work on stuff.
What about you, Kevin?
I'm good to say later.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I guess for now we just gotta quickly wrap it up for Aiden and David as well. But Kevin's definitely free to stay longer.
Is yeah. Is there a way to make it so that this is always like perpendicular to the tangent of the line?
Uh, yeah, it should be the tangent tool. I thought you already applied it. Did you not?
I think I might have already.
Yeah, you did. Oh, I believe you did already.
Then why is it still blue?
Oh, it's probably because it's the length. So you can still adjust the length of it, right?
Yeah, but problem is Oh, okay.
Hold on. Caitlin has a
Oh, good.
question. Caitlin has a question. So you fix your problem with the sketch by doing sketch dimensions and applying a constraint. Uh, so specifically, constraints prevent problems from occurring. You can also fix fix your problems by adding constraints. But if in the event that your design gets way too detailed, then it's going to be very difficult to fix the problems because there's going to be like so many things happening at once. Where adding constraints will probably add more problems. So it's just good to add constraints early on. Oh wait,
Also, I know another good reason for showing good use of. I hate these. I hate those. Those sometimes appear just because it's going horizontal,
yeah.
and then it ends up creating something. So you can do this. I'll just create 2 lines, and you can make stuff have properties. So you want this midpoint, the midpoint of this, to be here. Just click midpoint of that and midpoint of that. Want midpoint of this to be there as well. You do that. And then if you want these to be at a perpendicular angle, you can have them be perpendicular, which would have solved the problem with the motor, Justin, instead of having to do the angle specifically.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, see, can you show the copy and paste tool so that we all we need to do is just copy like the outlines instead of just having to like redraw the things again?
Wait, we can?
Yes. I mean, so it's kind of weird. You'd have to be in Sketch and then uh like highlight or click what you want to copy and then go into another sketch and then paste.
Okay.
It's kind of finicky. I've managed to done a couple of times. It's mainly because my design got really messy, but it's a great way to, for example, the screw mounts for the motors. I don't have to like recreate the whole thing again. I just need to copy it from an old design, just paste it onto my new one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna make that look pretty.
It's fine.
Yeah. What I could do is I could just make this horizontal so it ends up doing that. I guess. Or not. I'll just do a dimension. Is there a way to?
Uh,
Oh,
are you
reference
saying?
line.
Oh yes. So
Could
what's
use a
let's see.
reference.
What's the difference between an actual line and a reference line? Like, its general uses and like all that stuff.
You can't extrude or you can't extrude reference
Reference
lines,
lines.
but you can use them as a reference. So say you want to dimension this to have a certain angle, you put a reference line, you can make that certain angle, and then that fixes the problem. It's now all the lines are black, so that means things are properly constrained. Finishing the sketch. Actually, no, I'm not gonna finish the sketch. I'm just gonna. So how do you copy and paste? Let's see. Selection. What's the select tool? Window selection. I'm gonna just do the window selection, then Control C. Does that work?
See, Ethan. So the
Yep.
workshop is about to end. So
Cool.
try and quickly finish it up.
What was the rest of the stuff I needed to know? Needed to show? What was the rest of the stuff?
See here for the rest of this. I mean, it's fine. Fine. We could just make a second workshop to
Yeah,
continue.
the
Yeah.
second workshop. Well, the rest of the stuff, I believe it includes the joint tools and stuff like that, which would be way better once once we got all that stuff down. once everyone's connected to the team. By the way, do do the teams work like servers, and is there a limit to how many people can be in it?
I do not know that yet. So we'll definitely have to ask that. But I mean, my guess is like no more than 50 people, but that's just my guess.
That's a lot of people though, so that should be fine.
Yeah.
As long as we like keep up and remove people from the team once they, for sure are not with us anymore.
Okay. Let's see. Before. Oh,
Okay.
at,
Well, that works.
how much? Unlimited? Oh wow.
Good.
All
I
right.
guess
See,
that's about
before.
it.
Wait.
Uh,
No.
so Caitlin's question about adding constraints.
Let's see here. Before we wrap it up, see, Caitlin has her questions being answered. Does anybody else have any questions? Any issues they're experiencing? I will take that as see for anybody else that needs to go. Thank you so much for showing up. If you want, you can stay back a little bit. We're available until like 4 o'clock or so. Yeah, you'll definitely have time. And for Kevin, since you said you can stay back longer, we will try and see if we can teach you anything new and also help you get started on your BattleBot design as well.
Yeah. No, I guess that's it then.
Well,
Well, we should probably though have some other practice some other designs that we're gonna
okay.
do for the official workshop. Like
Yeah.
get some that we should have and practice doing, so we can, instead of just winging it, we can we can use that. Um,
Aiden, what about you? Did you manage to finish installing Fusion? Do you have any issues or any questions?
Oh yeah, I downloaded it. I was working on it with y'all.
Oh, okay. That's good. So here, and Caitlin says she has to go. And see, okay, and Kevin, how wait, are you able to catch up with what we were doing, or do you need us to like do run back to anything?
No, I think I understand everything.
All right, that's good. All right. See, since I'm assuming that see, we get so Ethan, Aaron, and David. See, do you guys have to go like anytime soon, or are you guys like just free afterwards in the afternoon?
I'm pretty much free.
All right, cool. Because we need to discuss a couple of we just need to discuss a couple things. That's it. For let's see, Kevin. See for Kevin. I guess. Uh, what I'd like to try and actually introduce Kevin is just the joint tool and assembly tool. Are you able to show that real quick, Ethan?
well, this doesn't. I can try creating a something, but remember this computer isn't connected
Okay.
to the team.
Are you, Kevin? Are you having any issues with your design?
I haven't started on it at all yet. So
Okay, it's fine. If
maybe.
it's fine if you have if you're struggling at all just to either get started or like just even the smallest CAD issues, just reach out to us. We all of us we have CAD experience. We can definitely help you out real quick. And like
Okay.
the stuff that we're doing like for BattleBots, it's not like an entire huge project. It should we can definitely help you get it finished in like 30 minutes or so, unless it's like a super buggy program. Will
Okay.
there still be workshops throughout the days? We will try to set up more throughout the summer. I'm just not sure if any. I'm just not sure if interest is going to be high since you know the semester is going to be starting. They also going to be stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll try.
Okay.
Oh, do you where do I go to see the electronics again? Forgot.
Electronics. So do you
Yeah,
mind
like the
sharing
motor.
your do you mind sharing your screen real quick, Aiden?
Well, I'm using my laptop for the Discord and using my PC for this.
Oh, things we kind of, but see first, it looks like wait, did see, so you're on the you're on the robotics at U of H team, right?
Yeah,
So
specializing
I
now.
see. Let me send you a. Actually, let me send the. Why is this not working? Hold on. Nipping tool. I don't know if you're able to see this, but there should be a. You should be able to just see straight up electronics right there. See, it's in.
Oh,
It's
and
gonna be
is
in
it
the.
150 gram battle bots?
Yes.
Electronics. Oh, I see it now.
All right.